Hi everyone. Welcome. I'm very sorry for my delay today. Um, just was doing a morning stream today about improve your chess. I don't know how many of you follow it. Uh, for all the strong players out there, maybe it's not so useful, but all those who are kind of getting better at chess and improving. I think it's very useful. I do it with Samay, with Biswa. Today Tanmay was there. And so it ended at around 10:15 or so. And there was very little time. So that's why the slight delay. Also, yesterday was a rest day. I hope you took enough rest on Sunday. And we are back. So, very warm welcome to everyone who's in the chat. Very nice to see all of you so excited to learn the Nimzo Indian. Did any one of you try playing the Nimzo Indian in these days? How has been your experience? Have you faced any difficulties? Because we are coming to the end of the opening. Today we are going to look at one major chunk now, because Queen C2 was a major chunk which we covered in the fourth session, and now E3 is going to be the topic of today's session. I'll make the move soon. But before that, welcome to everyone. Ilam Parthi, hi. You have come with your father's account, I see, not with your own. Who else is there? Yeah, welcome Yash. Yash, nice to see you. No one practical thinking says why there is no class yesterday. The only reason why there was no class yesterday was because I wanted to take some rest, being Sunday. And also yesterday we had a stream for blind players. Kishan and Darpan were there, and it was amazing. They played against the comedians, and there was a donation drive for blind chess to raise funds for improving the situation. And from what we recollect, I mean, from what we have just made a cursory kind of a total today morning, nearly 3 lakh rupees were raised, which is just amazing. Fantastic. Okay. Shubham Srivastav says, I have, and everyone went for NF3 G3 line. Shubham, you mean after D4, NF6, C4, E6, now knight F3? Or knight C3, bishop B4, knight F3, and then G3? That's important to know. Mayur Gondalekar says, I have tried Nimzo Indian in my games recently, faced moves not taught, was left wondering, but pulled off some draws, some wins, some losses. Okay, nice. Not bishop a3. Don't make that move. Okay. Yes, blind players won yesterday. Okay, let's go over to first whatever we have covered. We started off with d4, nf6, c4, e6, nc3. And after bishop b4, we have looked at first session bishop g5 already. Then we looked at a3, which was very interesting. If you remember, by the way, bishop g5, if you remember, was about my game with CS Gokhale. The it's very interesting idea with king d8, king c7, the Leningrad system, this entire thing. Then a3, which was like the 4a3 variation. We also looked at f3, which is the Zamish system. And we came to queen c2, which is the classical system in the Nimzo. And so I think a very important move is e3 here. That needs to be looked at. In fact, if when I played with the white pieces, I used to always go for the move e3. I like this move a lot. And by the way, all those who have attended my Improve Your Chess with Sagar, the imbalances part. Know the line I have recommended here for black. So what would you play here as black? Do you remember? And all those who don't, try to think what would you do here. Arav Vyas says, I was confused in queen c2 line, but your explanations helped me. It's good to know. So what is the move? Yeah, this is the Rubinstein system. That is true. E3. Pavitra Shinoy, yes. Reshma Dulgat says A3, D5. But D5 we have seen, yeah, the famous game of Botvinnik Capablanca from Avro 1938. That is what we saw with A3. Yes, very good. C5 has been mentioned by all of you. Fantastic. C5 is what I had recommended, and I think that's a nice move. Well, over here, white has two main moves. One is bishop d3, and the other one is knight ge2. I think both the moves are pretty popular. Let's have a look at, first of all, bishop d3, because that looks like the most natural move. And now you play, I will ask you, what would you play here as black? Black to move. Of course, there are many possibilities. Like, I'm not saying that c5 is the only way for black to play, but this is what I like, and that's why I'm sharing. I can also mention that there are several other lines, like castles instead of c5. Then you have b6, even d5. So yes, Sumed, you are absolutely right. Santosh Kumar Jha, I have downloaded Chessbase on Android, but I find no app option to play matches. Well, Chessbase on Android is for studying chess. If you want to play, then download Play Chess. That's free, so you can download that. Yes, knight to c6. That's what we had learned. Knight goes to c6, attacks the pawn here on d4. So I'm threatening to actually win a pawn with cd4. And now there are two moves. One is knight f3, and another one is nge2. Um, let's look at nge2 first. Here, I would recommend you to go into a isolated queen pawn position with CD, ED, and D5. And now, the reason why I'm happily going into this position is because of a one very specific reason here. Like, I'll just give you an example. This take, and this is a typical isolated queen pawn position, but there's something wrong with this position. Can anyone tell me why is this position in black's favor than a normal isolated queen pawn position? Normal. Uh, so what is the difference? This is what I want to know. What would what is the difference between a normal isolated queen pawn position? Yes, very good. Ilam Parthi, you are absolutely right. Let me see if anyone else can get it. Yes, Suryan Shwarma, also right. Geeta Ritesh, very good. Mayur Gondalekar, you are right. You're right, very good. Siddharth Shri Kumar as well. Eduardo Torres, yes. Excellent. So, in this position, the main thing is that the knight is on e2, which is not so well placed. Imagine the same position, okay? Imagine this very position with a knight on f3. This means that white can put his knight on e5 whenever he would like to at some point, of course, after protecting d4 or if it's not hanging. And the position is more active. But when you have the knight on e2, the problem is that with knight e2 line, it is not so ideally positioned. So cd ed d5, and that's why white must go cd here, knight d5, and castles. Now you castle here, he plays bishop c2. This seems logical because the bishop here doesn't have a good square to go to. f4 is covered, g5 is covered. So in a way, white tries to get this queen d3 idea running. Okay, here it's not so easy to come up with a plan for black, but let's see if you can think of something here. Black to move. Yes, Martin Helseth Oxendel. You are right that the knight on e2 is passive. Martin, what's your rating? Because I know you gave a great answer last time. What's your elo? This move here, next move is not so obvious. Queen c7, Chirag, possible. I don't want to put my queen on c7. Looks slightly passive. b6 says multi-master. Yeah, b6 is not bad. It's a possible move. NCE7 Ilamparthi to control d5. Yeah, NCE7 is also possible. I think mostly he will go queen d3. Then you may have to play g6. It looks okay. It's not bad. Queen f6, rook d8. Yes, that's one plan, says Sumedha. I think it's not a bad plan. b6 also I like. But the line which I recommend is putting your bishop back to d6. Actually, this is a pretty special move here. And the idea is that now the bishop has done its task on b4. It has provoked knight e2 in the position. And once knight e2 is played now, the bishop can definitely drop back to d6. So I could even go bishop e7 here, like just put my bishop back on a good square. But the problem is that I want to first of all stop some ideas related to nf4 if possible in general, and also I want to start creating threats with queen to h4 with this bishop. So that's the reason why uh, well, I think we have two moderators here basically. If someone is spamming the chat, please help me out in making sure that those people are put out on timeout so that I can read the authentic messages. I think it's important now for me to make sure that we have better streams, better interaction. In fact, I would like to say this pretty kind of bluntly, that all of this knowledge which you get here is really valuable if you are planning to play chess. And a general amount of respect would mean that you do not write stuff just because you are bored or stuff like this, because there are people who are sincerely learning here, and so please avoid spamming. Okay, so knight to e4 was played, and now bishop e7, a3, and this is where comes the next plan that was originated by Ivanchuk in his game against Rogers. Think and tell me, what would you play here as black? What should black play? Black to move, many ways to play actually, but Ivanchuk came with a nice plan which you can use in your games. Yes, Ilamparthi, you are right. This allows ND5, but once again, if you think about it, after take, this knight, this bishop, and this bishop are much superior to this knight and sort of here. So, I mean, he could play knight c3 back, but you are already, you can see that even in spite of being black, you have the initiative over here with queen h4, maybe creating some more soft spots in his position. So sometimes it's okay to change the structure, especially here it looks pretty decent. I mean, black has equalized without any difficulties. Yeah, Mayur Joshi, very good. Mayur is right. I think he is the one who's got the right move. uh, so what you play here, f5, is as recommended by many of you. Seems possible, but I don't like some weaknesses created here. How about going queen c7, which Ivanchuk played, with the idea of queen d3, rook d8, putting pressure here. And yes, there is an attack here, but there is no way to force it for the time being, because if knight f6 check, then I can simply take it, defending my h7 pawn. So I feel that this is how you should play, and a good game here is Rogers versus Ivanchuk, which we will look at later perhaps, but for now this is the line which I recommend against NGE2. Okay, let's go to now knight f3. In this position, if you remember, what should black play here? Black to move. Gameplays, tutorials, Minecraft, Queen B6 was also not a bad idea actually there, with the idea of Rook D8, but maybe Queen C7 is somehow more. I guess you're just looking at the diagonal C7 H2. Queen B6 also looks pretty good. Yeah, I think. Black to move. Yeah, D5 is possible move. It's one of the main moves in this position. Yes, Ilam Parthi, you are right. Suryan Sharma, you are right. Good to see you, Harshini Anand. You said D5. This is one of the main moves, but not what I taught you in the class. Shriyana Malya, yes. Anushka Bhatt, you are absolutely right. Shivam Chaudhary as well. The right move is bishop takes c3. You remember I told you that when such a structure is formed, we have studied it, by the way, if you remember. in this line, if we go back, d5, a3, bishop c3, bc3. Remember now, cd, ed, bishop d3, and let's say castles, knight e2. This is something which we have already looked at. So now when we are looking at c5, bd3, knight c6, knight f3, why are we taking without any provocation on c3? Can anyone explain to me what is the reason we took it now and not here? I mean, you could take it here as well. What is the reason to play c5, bishop d3, knight c6, and now when he goes to take here, and why not take it, let's say on the next move, maybe knight f3 to castle and then take on c3? What's the reason? Anyone can explain to me what is the reason why black takes on c3 now? Yes, Saujo 147, you are right. Yes. Your reasoning makes sense to me. Anyone else? Yes, knight is not on e2, it is on f3. That's the point. He has blocked his f pawn, and in general, the position slows down a bit. So now when I take, and imagine if the knight were on e2, it was much more nice for white to get, let's say, e4, f4, start playing. But with the knight on f3, it's not so easy to generate play, and that's the reason why. Yeah, I hope that was clear. It's slightly more advanced, but I think you will be able to understand, and you can also remember it this way. Knight goes to f3, I can take. Okay, now black to move. What do? There's one very nice rule. uh, yes, Mayur, you are absolutely right. There is one nice rule now that we follow. Let's see if anyone can find what should black move here. Carl NG, is it true knight should always be taken first so it won't be an issue next time? No, not really. You shouldn't take the knight just like that. It's only very, very strategically at the right moments you should exchange your bishop for knight. Yes, d6 is absolutely correct move. All those who suggest. And what is the rule that we are following here when we play d6? There's one rule, very nice rule, which you must always remember. To the reason why you play d6, what's the reason? b6 is also possible here, Mayur, but once the knight is here, it can always defend with knight d2 to the c4 pawn if required. So now instead of going for the c4 pawn, you go d6. Yes, pawns on the opposite color of bishop, Abhishek TR, also Sumed, you are absolutely right. You give up your dark squared bishop and then you start putting your pawns on the opposite color of your remaining bishop so that it becomes active. That's why you play d6. Next move, you're going to play e5. So e4. Now, there are actually two approaches in this position for white. One is to keep this structure fluid, and the other one is to actually play e4, and then after e5 to close with d5 and play this classical sort of more space in the center, two bishops position against closed position, and black has two knights trying to play this. This is a very strategic position. So first let's have a look at knight d2, trying to keep things, sorry, not knight d2 but castles, trying to keep things flexible in the position. So castles, e5, and now knight to d2. I think this is one of the main move in the position. And here I would recommend you to castle. Now taking the pawn on d4 with cd, cd, ed, ed. This is not the best because here black is really walking on thin ice. First of all, rook e1 check. Secondly, the two bishops become very active, and you really don't want to open up the position for his bishops. Okay, so you play the move castles. Sparsh Joshi says, just uploaded an article about Samay and you on Medium. Have tweeted you the link. Do check it out. Sparsh, you can also put it in the description. I mean, in the chat here, and it would be nice to have a look at it later. Yeah. So here, after castles, Rook B1, he keeps the tension in the position. There's this famous game of Nimzovich, which I would like you to look at, which went knight b3, b6, f4, and then he went e4. And what he did was he played bishop f5, he played queen d7, he kind of overprotected this pawn, put maybe h5. I think bishop went back, then the queen moved in. It was a very nice game, like a closed position. If I'm not mistaken, let me see if I can find it. It was, who was it? Nimzovich. Yeah, Joner versus Nimzovich. Remember we saw something related to Joner, yeah, Capablanca versus Joner, if you remember. So Joner is coming in lot of uh, positions, a lot of opening training that we see. So let me just first this game of Capablanca where he played knight e8 in the a3 system. That was Joner Capablanca. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to put this game for homework so that you guys can later have a look at it. Joner versus Nimzovich. If d5, knight e7, queen c2, what would you play here as uh, black? What do you think is white's threat here, and what would you play here as black? Black to move. It's a nice move actually. What is white threatening, and what should you do here as black? Ng6, yes. G6, very good. All those who said G6, very nice. Because coming up with this move is not easy. What's your plan behind this move? Why did you play G6? White threat is F4, says Pranav Jujare. Very good, Pranav. But your idea to F4 is not so great. But F4 is correct. You want to, you see the queen moving to C2 is that to F4, black cannot play E4. So when you do G6, your idea is that after F4, you want to take, and what's the move now? Black to move? Yes, Raman Chandrakar, absolutely right. Absolutely right. Yes, it does weaken the dark square, but this bishop is not going to get active soon on this diagonal because there's a pawn, and somehow to get it out from here is also not easy. So that's why G6 is okay. Yeah, this is the point here. Now you play bishop F5 and you get a very, very comfortable position here. It's not like this line is completely winning or something, but it's just some ideas that I want to show you. Okay, castles, rook b1 is the main move, and now both sides are actually waiting for each other. White wants to play f4, but is slightly afraid that he will jump here. Black is hoping white will play d5. He doesn't want to commit to anything. He doesn't want to play rook e8 because rook belongs on f8. For example, I play rook e8, now d5, knight e7, e4, and I would really want my rook back here so that I can try for f5 break. So that's the reason why certain moves, like let's say you play queen e7, which looks natural, suddenly the e7 square is controlled and you can't go back. So that's the reason why here both sides make some kind of useful baiting moves like b6 here, h3 again waiting, and now the time has come to kind of clarify the situation. So cd, ed, and d5, and I think this position is kind of even position. Yeah, you don't want to take here as we have already discussed because it gives black a lot of active possibilities, so just d5, and next move you could play bishop b7 if you want. You could put your bishop here if required. Looks good. Okay, so let's go back here, and we were looking at rook b1, and we saw this line. This is the main line where you keep everything flexible in the center, and as black you should take on d4 only when the position has stabilized. Yeah, you shouldn't be trying to win a pawn. Okay, e4 was played. Now the second strategy, you play e5, d5, knight e7, knight h4. This is the main move. Now what should black play here? We have discussed this game, Fischer versus Spassky versus Fischer. What should black play in this position? Black to move. We have discussed this, and it's a very cute move that Fischer came up with. Suryansh Verma, very good. Suryansh, you're very alert. Anish Godse, yes. Nitish Govekar, excellent. A lot of people with good memory, Ilam Parthi as well. And you remember, guys, so very good. The move is h6, very strong move. The point is you cannot play knight f5 immediately because I will take and play e4. And next I will win the pawn on f5. That's the plan. So the right move, f4 was played, and now what do you do? Because if you go castles, I think just g5 is pretty powerful. The knight cannot jump here, it has to go back, and then you can decide whether you want to go bishop g4 or you want to do something else. It's already very pleasant. So f4, and now black to move. Yes, practical thinking, you are absolutely right. The right move here in this position, what do you do? Yes, Sagar, Vivek, Yash, absolutely. Knight g6 as was played by Fischer against Spassky. Now knight f5 is not so great because after take, knight f4, black is at least equal. So knight g6 takes, pawn takes, and now FEDE is what happened in Fischer Spassky. We remember, I think all those who want to revisit this line, please go to Improve Your Chess with Sagar, episode 11th part, where we talk about this in great detail. I think it will be very useful for you. But here I want to discuss about castles f5. What do you play here as black? By the way, a big thanks to, as you think black to move, big thanks to Tahsin Mohammed, who's contributed through super chat, and also Eid Mubarak to all the viewers here. Black to move. King h7, fg6. I don't want to get my king to g6. g5 is possible, it's not bad. Something stronger, something more active. Come on, guys. I think many of you were present in that class. Not g5, not knight h5. Something better here for black. Ilam Parthi says queen e8. Okay, very good. Suryansh Verma, you are absolutely right. Suryansh is the only one. I think the move is b5. It's a very nice move actually. The point is if you take cb here, then I go c4, and taking here makes no real sense because you lose a pawn. So bishop c2, and then comes gf, ef, queen b6 check, king h1, queen into b5, and now this pawn is kind of soft. I don't know whether I'll take it or not, but it's a soft pawn, and I think black is doing very well. So f5, if your opponent plays, strike him with b5. Very nice move, very strong move. So I think you get an idea of what it is like to play this structure. I mean, in general, if the opponent doesn't do anything, then what ideally you would want to do is go castles, maybe get this knight to g6, knight h5, look at f4 square, play f5, keep the position semi-closed for the knights, and then try for f5 break and play on the king side. That's the point. Okay. Now e4, e5, d5. I think we had a look at this. Let's go back and let's look at the other important move, knight ge2 here. What do you play here as black? I mean, there are so many moves in this opening. I think I had a very nice game which I want to share. There are a couple of good games that I've played with black, which I want to share with you in this session. And I'm going to use that many of them to show you so that all the concepts become clear to you. Practical thinking, if he doesn't take on b5 in that position, you can take bc4, b into c4. I think seems okay. So there are some games which I have picked out, hand-picked, but first let's finish the analysis here. b6, yes, this is what I recommend here. b6, I just like it. I don't know how good it is, but I like playing it. a3, bishop a5. It looks like the bishop is misplaced, but it's still looking at the here, so it's not so bad. Usually they go rook b1, which is like you want to trap the bishop with b4, and then black says, okay, if I go knight c6, then there is a problem with maybe d5 followed by b4. So I'll put my knight on a6, stopping b4 but also developing a piece. So he goes bishop d2. I think there's also move g3 here, bishop b7, d5, and here I would recommend the move b5. This is interesting. It's because if you take ed, then after bishop g2, I think white is doing fine here. He will take later cd and castle and play a good structure. So b5, and after bg2, thank you Black Pirates for your contribution. bg2, b into c4, castles, castles, e4, ed5, and now e5. I go knight g4, bd5. I think there's a strong move here for black. What should black play? Yeah, queen e7 is also possible, Sagar. It's not a bad move there. But knight a6 develops a piece. Black to move. What do you do here? To check what is the evaluation of this position according to the engine. Yeah, engines think that's the best move. It's the only good move in the position. Not queen c7. I think queen c7 has a clear drawback. If you play queen c7, you have bishop f4 in the position, or even f4. It's just bad position for black. At the same time, you don't want to take here, because after bishop d5, queen d5, it's already not so great. So what do you do? See if anyone finds the move. Tough move. If you are not aware of this move, I don't think you would make it. Also a very interesting move actually. Reginald, you want to give up a queen, huh? Oliver Vartiovara, you got it right. Well done. Can you explain to me why you want to play that move? Rishav Ranjan as well. Why do you want to play the move which you suggested? Shivam Chaturvedi, you are right. The right move is bishop to c6. And this is actually a strong move. The idea is, if you take on c6 and then I take dc6, I get this horrible looking triple pawns, but in a way you are controlling some key squares in the position with these pawns, all these squares are covered with the pawns. So for example f4, and now you could go queen's knight c7, which is one possible move, or you can even play queen d3, which looks interesting, and black is better. These pawns do look ugly, but you have an extra pawn, and I think black is doing well in this position. So therefore e5 is playable. ed5 means after d6, I like this structure overall, the Benoni like structure. Knight d5 in this position means you can go knight c7, knight into f6, queen f6, queen d7, rook d8, queen a4, queen a6, and once again black is doing very well in this position. Yes, Rishav, you are right. D into c6 also gives you open file on D and B files. Oliver Vartiovora explains the move bishop c6 nicely. He says because it controls the d5 square. Like if you take, I will take, and the d5 square is controlled, and that's why bishop c6 is a good move. Well done, guys. bg2, bc takes e5, knight g4, knight d5, then knight e5, knight e7 takes, rook b8 takes, knight f3, queen e4, and black wins. This is a better position for black. If bd2, here you go bishop b7. If knight g3, you go castles. bd3, you can play d5. And once again, when the knight is on e2, it's always a good idea to go into isolated queen pawn position, because the knight may not be so well placed. cd, ed, bishop c3, bc3, queen d5, and then after f3, e5. Black was already doing really well. Okay, I think kind of covers up all our theoretical discussions, but what is more important is whether you guys have understood it practically. And for that, I'm going to show you some of my games and ask you important questions at important moments, so that all the knowledge that you have gained until now gets solidified. Okay, Let's look at the game with Sumit Grover, who is a strong player from Jammu Kashmir. D4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight c3, bishop b4, e3, c5, bd3, and c6, knight f3. Now you know the f2 point is blocked, so you take, d6, castles, e5. He played e4, I played h6, stopping bishop g5 just in case. h3, I was very happy to see this move. And now I went for the move g5 here. Uh, you could also play castles, which is just a normal move and pretty good. But g5 is like saying I don't like this move h3 and I'm going to take advantage of this. So I like the move g5. Also later after d5, knight e7, I was able to get my knight from g6 to f4. So this was my game. By the way, just to quickly show you what happened in the game, I played knight g6, knight g4, knight f4, bishop takes, gf takes, queen takes, and now you will see I have attacked down the g file. This bishop is very passive. Bishop c2, sorry, king h2, bishop d7, bishop e2, rook g8, bishop f3, king e7. So I'm slowly and steadily trying to do something to damage his position. b6, a4, rook bg8, and now after queen f1, it's black to move. Yeah, g4, then somehow h5. The basic point is that his king is on g1, so playing g4 for white doesn't make sense in any position. Well, my king is on e5. How should black play here? Saujo here, king d8, king c7, may be possible. What should black play? Be alert for your possibilities. Rishav bg4 possible, but I take on g4 with the bishop, rook g4, and then f3. Maybe it's not so great. Now, guys, come on, be alert. Ilam Parthi, you should get this one. Not so tough. Always be ready for tactical possibilities in a position. Kushal Jani, very good. Kushal, you are right. There's a tactical possibility here. You mustn't miss it. Yes, Padmayesh, you are right. No, Nikhil, not bishop h3. After gh3, what's your plan? Just sacrifice a bishop? Yes, Harshini, you are right. Rook g2 is the correct move. Bishop g2 and I played f3, f3. This move is easy to miss. Bishop f3, queen f4, king h1, queen f3. And this is winning. It's a little move that I found. Although there were other ways to win this position as well. Here the queen is just much superior and you're losing all the pawns. So In the end, he lost. Okay, let's go to the next game. This is my game with Arun Prasad, GM Arun Prasad. It was at National A in 2012. So here. He played the flexible line, d5. Rook b1, I was ready to play b6, and you know that kind of some kind of waiting move. But okay, d5, knight e7, queen c2, and what is the move? How should black continue? Yes, Piyush Bothra, you're right. Very good. You remember we were discussing that white wants to go f4 and rip up open the position, and that's why g6 is a nice move, so that if f4 takes bishop f5 can be played. So in the game, you see the grandmasters always make moves which are like f3. Try to put more pressure on me. And now maybe I should have gone knight h5, but I went knight e8. After e4, f5, takes, g4 was played. Very, very strong move. King h8, king h1, knight g7, take, bishop takes, and knight e4. I would say white has perhaps a small edge here in this position, but maybe around equalish position, and you should be playing this. In the game, well, I didn't play so well. Like rook f c8 doesn't make any sense. I think rook f7 is better. Knight d6, bd3, then knight f7 check. So you take, and knight f4 with compensation. So that was about the game against Arun Prasad. I think getting a bit of the feel of this entire system. And now comes, I think, one of my favorite games from the opening perspective. This is against the current national champion of India in women's, Bhakti Kulkarni. d4, nf6, c4, e6, nc3, bishop b4, e3, c5, in g2, b6, a3, bishop a5. We looked at this, rook b1, knight a6, and she went queen to a4. How should black continue? Two games are very interesting in this line. One is Bhakti and another one is Ram S. Krishnan actually. Both these games follow interesting paths. Instead of Queen A4 here, Ram S. Krishnan had played against me uh, Bishop D2, which we will look immediately after this. Queen A4. What should Black play? Sagar says Bishop B7. No, Padmash, I lost to Arun Prasad that game. It was not a great game. Amit Sinha, is there a way to memorize the opening lines? Yes, by repetition. Once you learn it, if you repeat, you will be able to remember. Josephine Geeta says, how can I create folders in databases in Chessbase? You want to create folders? I don't know, like, but database should do the trick, yeah? Why do you want folders? I don't know, I've never created a folder inside chessbase, but I'm sure it's possible. Maybe you can drag and drop, perhaps, if it works. Bishop b7. All those who say bishop b7, did you consider the move b4? If yes, what's your answer to it? b4. You know, your bishop is getting trapped. Bishop b7 definitely looks like the best move, but what's the problem now after b4? How do you resolve this? Your bishop is trapped. Yes, Nandan, bishop b7 is good, but now what after b4? What do you do? I was very proud that I found the next move in the game. Yes, Vivek Mahale, very good Vivek. No, not b5, Saujo, then just queen a5. Looks good. S. Murugan, you're right. Aditya Yadav, you're right. Bishop c6, attacking the queen. And the point is, the queen cannot move back because then cb, ab in knight b4 or bishop b4 simply wins a pawn. So they must play the move b5. But now it means my bishop is safe. But now my two pieces are under attack. How do I defend them? What's black's move here? Black to move. Umang Desai says, love from California. We and my wife watch you religiously every day. Fantastic, Umang. Thank you. If you already have a folder on your computer, you can add a folder shortcut in CB15. Can we do it from CB15 or you can do it from Windows Explorer? The shortcut. And then how to create? You just right click and then you say add folder shortcut. So whatever folder you already have. Ah, right click on the main screen. Okay. Ah, very nice. So I'll just share my screen so that you, uh, you can check this out. I don't know if I can see. Anyone who said you want a folder, just right click, add folder shortcut, and you go here. And let's say I'm doing opening training and I want this one. So I say select folder and it's here. The entire folder in this. Very nice. Amruta, thank you. I'm going to remove it. Okay, what should black play after bishop c6? b5, where do you go? Yes, bishop goes to e4. Perfect. Bishop goes to e4, attacks the rook on b1, and now he goes rook a1. What is a good move for black? This is, I think, one of my good games here. Knight e4 says Mayur. If bc6, bishop takes knight, knight takes bishop, knight takes knight, forking the queen, and yes, possible Mayur, but maybe knight e4. You may face some troubles with thinking. Let me think. Is bishop b2 a good move there, or bishop d2? I'm looking at maybe bishop d2. Also, what would be your plan to queen c2 perhaps? Queen c2. You have to be careful. You may lose an entire piece in the position. So that's why bishop e4 makes complete sense. And now after rook a1, what do you do here? Ilam Parthi, brilliant, brilliant Ilam Parthi. You are absolutely right. Anyone else? I think Suryansh Sharma also was close to getting the right answer. The move now is CD. So you're threatening this, so still the knight cannot be taken. And after ED, I actually in the game I played knight c7, which still gave black a good position. But I have a powerful move here, which is black to move. Can you find it? Black has a powerful move here. Knight b8 again is passive. Try to think of some active ideas. Very good, Ashi Upadhyay. Excellent, Ashi. You are right. All those who say e5, well done. This is a brilliant move because if you take the knight, then after ed4, you are threatening d4 to c3. If you take, then bishop into c3 is winning. And de, then I can jump with knight c5, and already this is a winning position because something like queen d1 can be met with so many ways. I mean, it's winning in many different ways. I would say knight d3, check, king d2, knight e5 looks crushing, bone crushing. So e5 is really a very beautiful move. I like it, and I have not seen this theme being played very often. So I like this very much. Okay, so rook a1, cd, knight c7, and then I've saved everything. I managed to play d5, and then later on I did manage to win. This was against Bhakti Kulkarni. Played a good game of chess, I think, and she's now really strong. She's an IM. In fact, that was the time where she would have drawn with me. She would have got an IM norm. She lost, and she was quite upset. But I think it's these moments where you actually don't get what you're looking for is what makes you stronger. And you see that she didn't get her IM norm then. She became an IM very quickly because she worked hard and she did a lot of work at chess. Okay, big respect for Bhakti. I really like her as a player. It's one more game that I wanted to show you guys, which I said Ram S. Krishnan game. And this game is filled with brilliant tactics once again. This line actually overall has some good tactical ideas which you should remember, like this Bhakti game. So d4, nf6, c4, e6, knight c3, bishop b4, e3, c5, knight e2, b6, a3, bishop a5, rook b1, knight a6, all known. bd2 now. Bhakti played queen a4. I had gone bishop c6 and bishop b7, bishop c6. This is bd2, which is again a main move. I went b7, and here my opponent played the move b4, which kind of surprised me. So think a bit. What is that my opponent wants to do here? Think a bit for this move. I took actually, and I thought to myself, okay, if he takes back, I will play knight b4. Looks good. If he is a careless and if he plays something like say g3, then I have a pretty mate with, with knight d3. Not that it's going to happen. Uh, but he did something interesting here. He went knight b5, and he said to me, if you will take here, then I will jump to d6, pick up your bishop. There's a check coming in here, which is very dangerous. And also now ab4 becomes a big threat because the bishop is controlling the b4 square. So I said to myself, okay, queen e7 looks fine, not a bad move. So knight g3 was played by my opponent here, and here I should have played knight e4, bishop e4, rook b3 and castles, where when I think black is doing fine, at least equal. But I went for castle directly. My opponent got in the move queen a4. So you can imagine this actually also happening in Bhakti's game, where if you play eighth move queen a4 instead of bishop d sorry, yeah, queen a4, bishop b7, bishop d2, queen e7, b4 takes, knight b5, and we reach the same position kind of. So queen a4, and now I played the move knight e4. I was thinking a lot now actually here, because I was worried that ab4 might just lose a piece for me. At the same time, I didn't like this position because ba, bishop a5, ba5, so already looks pretty bad for black. White has this nice structure, and a5 can be picked up. Seems like black is doing worse. So I went knight e4. He took on b4. Now my point was, if he takes here, I'll take on d2 and then follow it up by taking here. So he went bishop b4. I took bishop b4 because another point is that if you play bishop takes b4, then after ab4, this is again losing. I mean, this is again not a great position because this knight is kind of fixed here. It's not so good. So what I did here was I took knight b4. He took, and here I played a. Here it's black to move. What would you play with black? Padmash says, what should what if black played ab4 instead of ng3? Okay, instead of ng3 here, if ab4, I think I would just take bishop b4, or let me think a bit. Maybe knight b4, knight c7, king d8. You want to take, mate. So it doesn't work. Ng3 looks okay. Castles, queen a4, knight e4, bishop b4, knight b4, a b4, and now black to move. Actually, I lost this game in this move. A6 is what everyone says. Knight c3 is another move. So knight c3 or a6? Knight c3, then knight into c3. Yeah, so a6 I played and he jumped in. And the point is, if you move the rook, then I will take and then take here, like say rook c8, ba, rook takes, and maybe ab, and this looks good for white. So a6, he went knight c7, and now black to move. What would you play? Black to move. What do you play here? Knight c3. Okay, I'm going to trick you now. Knight c3, queen b3. Now what? Come on, not just one moves. You need to think more, deeper. Knight c3, queen b3. Now, if you look, rook is hanging, bishop is hanging, knight is hanging. So three pieces attacked. How do you save everything? Anyone here? Because now you're losing a piece actually in this position. Knight b1. Okay, Abhinav Bhatt. Well done. Yeah, knight b1 was what I played in the game. But the problem is after knight b1, he took ba and I went rook b8 and he took here. I played bishop here to c8. He played queen b1 and he had two pieces for a rook with an extra pawn, and everything is just great. I was actually hoping to play queen to d6 attacking this pawn, and after c5 I wanted to take here, but bishop d3, and then I later on went on to lose the game even though I'm an exchange up. Somehow look at these monster pawns. I was in a big trouble. So coming back here, what should black do? Let's look at anyone who's got the answer, the full variation. Yeah, knight b1 is ba5. That's the move. So the right move is to take queen into b4. It's very easy to miss this move, and this is what I missed in the game. After queen b4, not to take and then be a piece down, which is a bad position, but to actually play after queen b4, knight into b1, and this is the move which is easy to miss because now this is pinned here. So something like ba, knight a8, rook a, bishop a8, And yes, it's a pawn up position for black, but also he has rook b8 moving in knight c3. And I think black is better, is doing really well. So this entire plan with queen into b4 is quite unusual and easy to miss. Take knight b1. Well, in the game I played badly and I went on to lose here. Okay, so let's just finish it off with a couple more games. I think the interesting one was Fodor Tamash. I was 5 out of 5 in this tournament. It was a GM norm event. I made my first GM norm here. Also won the tournament in Dresden. Sixth round, I was playing Fodor Tamash. Sorry, d4 and f6 c4 e6 nc3 bishop b4 e3 c5 knight g2 b6 a3 bishop b5 rook b1 knight a6 bishop d2 and now bishop b7 knight g3 was played. I castled f3 and I want you to play a good move for black. What should black play? Black to move d5, very good. Excellent. D5 was played in the game, and I think after this, black doesn't have too many things to worry. CD, I took CD, ED, I took on C3, BC, and then Queen D5. And I like this position. Although black has, you know, knight slightly misplaced and white has the bishop pair, yet this pawn on f3 looks weird and somehow these all weaknesses. I like black's position a lot, and I went on to hold this. It was a draw, but I was better in the game. Siddharth Arwade has a super chat of rupees 40. Thank good session, lot of learnings. Thank you so much, Siddharth Arwade. Glad that you could enjoy the session. So this is one game that I wanted to show you, and it seems like that's about it. Is there any question related to 4e3 that you have in mind, like in this position? Do you have any questions? What is it? Because I think kind of sums up what black must do. c5, then in some lines put knight c6, bishop c3, d6, e5. Against knight g2, you play b6, bishop a5. Against bishop d3, you can play knight c6, then knight f3 is possible. If knight e2, you play um, oops sorry, you can play d5 and play in the center because the knight is not so well placed on e2 and you can go into IQP positions. So let me know. Prithviraj Chaudhary says when to decide to play c5 and d5 in Nimzo. Well, I think one of the major decisions is that it's very concrete. Sometimes both ways is right to play. I just prefer playing more c5. I used to prefer. Now I like d5 as well. Used to feel somehow if you really want to play d5 in such a position, then why don't you play d4 d5? This was my thinking. Why don't I play d4 d5? Why should I go for Nimzo Indian? But soon I realized that he's closed his bishop here. So now d5 could be possible. Or if suppose e3 c5, bishop d3, sorry, knight c6, knight f3. Although you take and play take and play d6 here, you can also think of playing d5. There's nothing wrong. It's just a normal natural move. It's more about taste, in position. That's the point. I have played some players who play b6 after e3 bb7. Yes, it's possible to play b6. I think I prefer when someone plays b6 against me with black, I go knight g2, and I think it's a good position for white in general. I mean, no problems. Shubham Srivastav says, could you do a short briefing on e3 b6, knight g2, bishop a6? Yeah, why knight g3 is one option. I remember a3 is possible here, but yeah, knight g3. Didn't Wasn't there some Fischer game here? Remember some Fischer game? I think a3, bishop a3, knight a3, knight bishop c3, knight c3, and then d5. Yeah, this is the main move. And now b3 is possible with a playable position. Also, queen f3 is possible because there's a lot of pressure down this diagonal. You are not in the best frame of mind when you can't make a proper diagonal. Srinivasan Narayanan, e3 is the main line or queen c2? One is called the classical variation. Yeah, queen c2 is classical, e3 is Rubinstein. I think both are important nowadays. In fact, a lot of people are also playing bishop d2, which move was earlier considered to be just completely illogical. Now a lot of people are playing it. It doesn't mean that it's great. It's just a playable line. For example, here e3, we just d5, and again it's a normal position that you play. Abhinav Bhatt says you started talking like Samay. I don't think so. He has a lot of energy and he speaks very uh, with a lot of energy. I mean, I don't do that. By the way, today we had a super chat in the morning. I couldn't read it, which thanked Amruta for her Sicilian Khan sessions, and she said, and they said that they learnt a lot and played it regularly. So that was nice to see. Manbhar Garg, can you do Sicilian Khan with Amruta? Yes, hopefully yes. Setu Minocha, why no class yesterday? The only reason there was no class yesterday was because I wanted to take some rest. Pranav Mishra, Jai Shri Ram. Okay. Sagar, you enjoyed the session and you will attend further sessions. Good, good. I hope you enjoyed today. And also, let's first jot down what you learned today because that is always useful, right? To write down what you have learned. So, what did we learn today? Let's put it here. Day 4. Today is day 5. I'm going to make this smaller here and I'm going to write down. So, anyone who would like to tell me what did we learn today? Satyanarayan Dhillon, membership and subscription details. Yes, I would do that. By the way, just a question to all of you. I would be launching membership soon on the platform, and I would hope that all of you would uh, tune in for that, and I will keep you updated on that front. Yeah, we'll let you know. Murugan, I didn't have time to change the thumbnail. I'll do that in some time. Thank you, Sumed and Nikhil, for being wonderful moderators. I don't know if you timed out someone uh, wrong, but in a wrong way, but I thought it was a nice session with less spamming. Thanks to you guys. Okay, so day five, we learned E3 Nimzo. Let me make it smaller here. Day five, we learned the E3 Nimzo. Uh, NGE2 line was c5, b6, bishop a5, and here watch out for tactics like Bhakti versus Sagar and Ram S. Krishnan versus Sagar. So these two were the key games here to look out for. Um, if you play the normal line, which is not knight ge2 but bishop d3 and knight ge2, then go for iqp with the knight slightly misplaced on e2. Okay, if bishop d3 and knight f3, then go for Spassky Fischer line and check session number 11 of Improve Your Chess with Sagar. Okay. This is what I think are the notes for today. Maybe I can put some numbers here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think that was good. SCBSV says, one question. Morning I played Slough. After that, I saw your game with Samai. At that, I had a doubt. I took on C3 and had pressure on C file. I won, but I want to know whether it's a positional game. Uh, I don't know exactly which position you're talking about, but okay. Maybe if you can write the moves, that would be better. Nitish Govekar says, do we need premium account for Chessbase 15? Well, Chessbase 15 comes with a 3-month premium account. And I would sincerely request for all those who are working hard on chess, get Chessbase 15. That's the right way to prepare. And for every position, if you do reference, then you will get all the games in the database. So that's mega database. So all those who do not have Chessbase plus mega database, get it. There's a link in the description. You can get it from there. Okay, make sure you buy it and you become a better player. That is for sure. Love Patel says, very good session. Very good. Yes, Narayan Srinivasan. Yes, same Ramesh Krishnan. Exactly. That's the one. Okay, guys, before we leave, I would like to play a game with someone here. If you can come to play chess before we leave, maybe a Nimzo if I'm black. Let's see if we can do that. Come to playchess.com, come to main playing hall, or maybe come to Chessbase India room if you like. That would be nice, but okay, let's be in the main playing hall and let's see. Chessbaser is my ID. I would like to play a game, and just so that we end it with a game. 3 minutes. Just let's see how it goes. Okay, we are white. Let's begin with d4 and see what happens. Knight c6. Okay, let's push. 6 c4. Nilash Chobasya says how to control your anger after losing. Well, for opening training seems like a tough question, but okay, in general, if you always focus on where was my mistake, how I can improve, then you don't get really angry on yourself. Rather, if you are only focused on the result, that's a problem then. Okay, he is moving ahead in development very quickly. I have some problems with the E file. Okay, let's take should be 2. Maybe bishop E3 is kind of forced, yeah, here because can I go bishop F4 or can I play A3 bishop C3? Okay, let's go this. We don't have too much time. He can take, I can take back. D6 castles. Take. I don't like my structure, but I have a bishop pair. Bishop D3. Bishop G4. Okay, queen C2. This rook looks misplaced somehow. Okay. Maybe bishop e2. Strong, kind of. Okay, h4. No, bishop g2. So I'm running low on time. Queen 7. Take. Queen takes c3. g3 was hanging. You see it. Okay. Have to move faster next time. Ooh. I think he was down to 0 seconds, yeah? Should play faster. Should play faster. Okay, guys, just needed some kind of a change. But thanks for watching. Wasn't very instructive, I guess. But I think I'll do a separate session to just play with you guys. That would be fun, and would also learn a lot from that. But in the end, I played well. Yeah, like he had 48 seconds, I had 8 seconds, and I made all the pre moves. And he came down to like 1 second, and then I just unnecessarily made a wrong pre move, as I would have won. Okay, let's meet tomorrow, and then we'll do it. Vishwa B says one game. Well, let's do it tomorrow. I'll do a separate session on that, and it would be nice. So take care, guys, and thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you learned a lot. Tomorrow, maybe we can do a recap on the Nimzo, and then move to the next session. Yeah, next opening.